Never intended to be an artist. I think it kind of found me, certainly. I was always interested in creativity, I suppose, and art and design growing up. I kind of came to it late in the day. I never studied art in school, but it's always been there. It's always been part of my life, I think. I was always aware of creativity. I think my parents definitely kind of instilled it within us. My mum was always sewing growing up, and my dad was always kind of championing design and architecture, so it was always around me. I never studied art in school growing up, but again, I kind of found it, I think, later in life. I studied design, and through that I found art, and that's the path I've kind of chosen now. It's just something that's kind of spoke to me, and I think my art is just kind of an internal representation visually. It's never overtly kind of considered. It's a continual exploration, I think, continual journey and kind of learning and moving forward. It's an exploration of colour and shape. Find those resolves, that becomes a piece of art, and move on to the next one. Something else is resolved, and then I continually move forward, and that's the path and journey I take. I think it does. People have told me when they see my art, they can kind of put it together beside me in that sense. So I suppose maybe it's that kind of vibrancy of colour or an energy. People have said it. It's not something, it's not an intentional thing. It's very much an internal thing in regards to colour selections and shapes. So I'd like to think, yeah, I mean, it's bright and it's fun, and I'd like to think I'm bright and fun. I get so much inspiration for my creativity in so many different places. The list would be endless. I think just even go through on a daily sense, could be the music I listen to, walking around the streets, architecture. Generally, a lot of it would be shapes and structures I see walking around. And I take these, and then these kind of feed into my visual language. That's very much, I think, is what it is kind of shapes, structures. Again, colours, I could be walking down the street and see someone wearing certain clothes, and there's a colour combination there, or there could be something in a window, in the sky, anywhere. It's limitless, and that's kind of the joy of it, really, is that unknown where the next idea might come from. But when I see it, it kind of just, it snaps and stays in my mind's eye, and then I take that forward and explore that. A lot of it is just exploration, I think, making mistakes. That's kind of one of the best things that kind of puts you on new tangents. Just experiment and mess things up, and from those ideas something might kind of fall out. There's never a set path, and that's kind of the fun of creativity, I think, as well. That's what keeps you exploring to find the next thing. And I really enjoy working in print. I think that's kind of primarily how I got into working full-time as an artist. I enjoy the simplicity of it, and just using paper, but again, different papers, different inks. So it's primarily print, but I mean, that's where I started, but I've expanded onto, design in regards to like clothing, murals. It's, I suppose, the fun of seeing where I can extend my visual language to. Abstract, minimal, with bold use of colour. That's what's kind of stayed with me, I think, throughout, especially in recent years. I haven't deviated too much, so it's very much that exploration of, reducing the shapes and colours that I've chosen to assemble a composition that I'm happy with. And if there's too much, it's too noisy, you reduce it. And it's just finding that kind of perfect balance. There's no message, I think, in what I do and create. I don't intend the viewer to see something or to relate to it. It's very much, I can enjoy the fact that it's kind of open-ended. There's kind of a conversation with them and the artwork themselves as individuals. One of the things that I enjoy, that each person who sees an artwork has a different story or different elements resonate. Certainly in the abstract works, different people see different things, which is quite exciting. And then if there's maybe kind of an architectural piece or a building in it, it resonates again differently with people. It creates memories and instills different stories in their past, and that's kind of fun to hear back as well, like that. So I don't try and steer a specific message. I like to kind of hear what people feed from it individually. I think things that catch my attention are maybe kind of like new thought. Someone who might take a practiced, proven method and then flip it on their head, and that's the thing that kind of gets my attention. It's always in the least expected places. And that's the joy of art, I think, for me, is definitely, it's never in, obviously it's in specific places like galleries, but it can exist elsewhere and beyond, and that's the fun. That's what I enjoy, and that is just, I suppose, new things pique my attention. I suppose my art kind of takes me in, it's very much kind of internalized in your head, and then I suppose relating it physically. And nice heady days at time where I just formulate ideas and compositions in my head, and then that will be different when I draw it out or mark it out. And that's the fun of it, I think. It's even when it gets to printing, it's never what it is or what it was intended to be from the start. I think that's the joy of it, is just that kind of continual journey where anything can kind of happen. I think if I'm just printing an idea I already have, then print is just a process, but I like to kind of explore that more and just twist a page or mix a new ink, and that kind of takes me in kind of fun places. And as long as that joy is there, then I'll continue down that path. I think that's where art takes me. Collaborating with a fashion brand is always kind of fun. It's a new space, I suppose, for my artwork to exist. It's not just on a piece of paper, it's front t-shirt, back t-shirt. So, collaboration is good in that sense, where you're kind of, I'm learning new things, but also working with other people to kind of both of us achieve, even from, growing up, like t-shirts were a big thing for me in regards to just graphics and visuals, and it's definitely one of the things that I was aware of growing up like that. So to be able to design t-shirts myself with the folks in Fresh Cuts, that's quite exciting, and has been a fun project to work on, and the fact that they're local and Irish and independent just makes it all the better, really.